at 5:33 p.m. and we're going to call the meeting to order. We need to open up for public comment. We don't have anybody. Do we have anybody online?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. So we need to review and adopt the minutes from last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look those over?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Would someone like to?
I make a motion that we adopt the minutes as written.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. So, thank you. All right, and then we need to evaluate the program plan update.
Yes.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna
Elena-
share my screen for that. Hold on.
Thank you.
Okay, can you all see it?
Yep.
Fantastic. So, first one I think is pretty easy because we finished this, right?
I
Yes, we
cannot
did.
see very well, but
This
that's
is
the,
the
does it say passport?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Let's see. Maybe I can see. Is this better? I made it bigger.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay. So I wasn't sure what you guys' goal with this is. Do you want to take this off, replace it with something else? Do you want to evaluate how you think the passport did?
Well, at some point, we're gonna have to do that, to decide if we want to do it again, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
is on the agenda later to talk about the impact of that. Maybe it should have been here.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
I'm not sure what we would be replacing it with at this time, but I definitely think that's something we should put on our agenda to find something to replace it with.
Do we know how many passports we have left over?
Yeah. Do we want to jump ahead and look at the
We
passport?
can.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
please.
Okay.
The impact?
Yeah.
Can you see that now, or do I need to share the other screen?
Yeah, that's good.
You can see that it says passport impact.
Oh, no, you would
Okay.
need to share your screen again. Yeah.
Okay.
For those who are here in person, I just printed a one pager because
Okay.
the actual report has like links to the social media posts and things, but this is really like the data part.
Okay.
So we weren't able to get all the physical passports back.
Oh,
But
I
just
forgot to
from,
go to that-
sorry.
I forgot to go to that place.
Oh, that's okay. I also called up places, maybe if, I wasn't able to go in person, and just from what I collected and what people said, there were, what is that? About 40 passports maybe left over, but it's still, really inconclusive because we don't really know exactly how many were left over. We also don't know whether that number of, like, let's say 200, right, maybe were passed out. We don't know how many were actually actively going out to the businesses, right? So if it is something that would be repeated, there would maybe be a better way to track that information, because it's a little hard to tell. There were 3 winners. They were the 3 people who brought back the completed passports.
And there was only
I did
Mhm.
get, well, we got 4 because I got 1
4,
after
sorry.
the date. So, but yeah, there was only 4 that were returned completed.
Mhm.
I think maybe some way, next time we do this, a way for having each participant register. So we know that they're
Mm,
doing, that'd be a good way of tracking it.
mhm.
Mhm.
I know some people are hesitant, giving information, but if it's just very simple information so we can track, that would be, I think that would be useful.
Yeah. I added some comments here too from the businesses and business owners, and we didn't get a whole lot of feedback for that either. And that was sent out at least a couple of times, like surveys, and I would ask when I went to businesses. there's definitely in general, like maybe it brought some people into the business, but not necessarily increasing business, right? So
Mhm.
folks are just going in for the stamp, but not
Mhm.
maybe really looking around at things, maybe not purchasing anything. So kind of thinking about how the activity could actually encourage that too. As well as some businesses didn't really receive any or just a few passports to hand out. And they feel like if they could have handed it out to their customers, especially if they have more regular customers, maybe we would have seen more participation. So those are just a couple notes that I thought were important.
I did, when I passed out the passports, I know Connie did some of them, but when I passed them out, I told people if they ran out to call us at City Hall and we'd bring them down more. And other than the commissioners, nobody called me or talked to City Hall for more passports unless they just popped in and picked them up off the counter.
Well, yeah, and I noticed too, if you have different employees and they rotate and things like that,
Yep.
if they weren't there right at the time, they might not know that information
Yeah.
either. So
I think there's room for improvement. I think it was a great idea.
Mhm.
We just need to find out from other cities that have done it, how they made it successful.
I think one of the things that could have made a difference too is, I know we have this email list of 1,000 people or whatever it is, but when you're marketing to people, it's really important to know like your audience and who you're marketing toward, and we don't know who those people are.
Yeah.
And I think if we had found a way to get to people's home addresses, like send a passport in the mail, and I know that that could be more expensive and there may be downfalls to that too, but there are people that are coming downtown already know we're here. So
Mhm.
how can we get people out there to come here? If that makes sense.
Yeah. We did put a flyer out with the water bills right when we first did the passport. So that went out to every resident who receives a water bill. So some places, like the apartments, the landlord might pay the water bill. They wouldn't each individual apartment get it. But
Okay.
so they were notified that it was happening and where they could pick up the passports. So we did reach out to most everybody in the city.
Okay. No, go ahead.
yeah, just another thing to think about. I didn't write here, but more after the fact. When folks are going out to redeem their certificates, because it is the city really paying for that, there was some funkiness with that. Businesses understanding like, how are they going to get that money? And so I don't know, that's maybe something to figure out too, like where's that money actually coming from, and maybe streamlining that a bit as well for, future awards, if this is something you wanted to do again.
There's a small problem with that if it comes from the city, that we can't purchase like gift certificates ourselves. We can, and that's why we did it that way. And all the participants, all the businesses who are participating received an email that outlined in the beginning before we handed out the passports and even printed them, that this is how we were going to handle the award winner. So,
Okay.
I mean, we could look at if somebody donated physical items instead, doing that. But if we wanted it to be, I think part of this was also, the goal of this was to get people out shopping in the businesses, but also for them to be circulating local money. So we wanted it to be them spending the money at the same businesses that they were going to for the passport.
Any other feedback from anybody on what they think could have been better or should have been better, or? No,
I didn't get that involved with it, so.
yeah.
This is something that we plan on doing on a yearly basis?
I think it was just something that we were initially trying to see if it brought more business.
Mhm.
I don't work the weekdays. I know you said for you that you had noticed a lot of people coming in to get
Mhm.
stamps. I personally hadn't really had anybody. So I don't feel like for my business in particular, I don't know about the rest of the businesses that it was necessarily like financially beneficial or really brought in more business or made people more aware. I wish that there was a better way to get people who don't normally participate in these things to participate. I just don't know what that is. I don't know how to do that. I mean, we sent it out in the water bill, but
Mhm.
I mean, I guess I don't read my water bill, so other people probably don't either, because I didn't know it went out, so.
Mhm.
Or if it's automated pay.
Yeah, it's automated pay, and so I get I
Yeah.
get the thing, and I'm like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's-
You might scale it down so it's less of a book and maybe a one sheet, and then you could mail it. It'd be more economical to mail it.
Mhm.
Sure.
Or
And
it
you-
would. It would be wonderful. I'm just totally down for, I don't know, doing this, what I keep on calling the welcome wagon.
Yes.
I think that would be a perfect thing to incorporate that into this. The thing is that, we spend some time and money and planning these projects, and then we roll it out. And then we're like, oh, we don't know. So we're not going to do it again. The thing is on these type of, it's consistency,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you're not going to really see anything maybe after 2 or 3 times that we do this. So I just hope that in the future, if we do plan on projects like this, that it's something that we just don't abandon, that we incorporate it and just be consistent
Mhm.
with it. But I would highly recommend, whoever does the welcome committee, because it's just the amount of homes going in is just, it's
Yeah.
just yeah, so I think this would be perfect for something like that, to be
Mhm.
honest, more so than how we rolled it out. I think it's a great idea. We just need to tweak it, fine tune it. Just apply where it would bring the most business for us. So.
Yeah, I think the welcome wagon is an awesome idea.
Mhm.
I think we should add that to our agenda to talk about, because that would be a great replacement. And we could even incorporate, like you're saying, the book with it, if we once a year do a welcome wagon thing, or once a quarter,
Yeah,
drop off a passport with it.
Mhm.
yeah.
Maybe we can do something like that.
Several years ago, the chamber bought plastic litter bags. And we filled those full of information about the local businesses and activities to do. There's still thousands upstairs.
Yeah.
So maybe we can utilize that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
That's a great idea.
back then too, we worked with the realtors, they have the model home. We had packets there for the realtor to give out to people.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay.
I'm pretty sure the chamber's not doing that right
Okay.
now, so. I think it'd be great if we could, because we do have a lot of.
Yeah.
homes going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree with Julie about not totally abandoning this
Mhm.
and just fine tuning it and continuing with it, because I think doing something once and just giving up is silly.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like a lot of things that we've been doing in the past. We
it could
just
take
kind
a couple of years
fine-tune 'em. Yeah.
to get the ball rolling. And that's
Yeah.
just how it is. That's how a business is.
Yeah.
Connie, can I ask you to repeat yourself just because I had a hard time hearing? What did you say the chamber passed out that we have a lot of upstairs?
Plastic litter bags,
Oh,
the 8.5, well, they're not 8.5 by 11, but they have the chambers logo on the front. But we have thousands of them upstairs, and maybe we could work with the chamber on getting those stuffed and the
Okay.
realtors or something.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Another opportunity where this might fit in maybe a little bit better would be during the holidays too.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, just to see if it fares better than as far as timing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, that was a comment from one
Mhm.
of the businesses too, is they didn't know that this was the best time of year for this kind of
Mhm.
activity, so
Mhm.
maybe that.
Yeah,
was it.
your original goal, if you remember, was to do it over the
Yeah, it
holidays.
was.
Mhm.
There was that other passport that was confusing things, and so we went for spring break. But yeah, and I will say after we got the passports out in people's hands, we did get calls from a couple other businesses who are like, hey, we want to participate in this next time.
That's good.
Okay.
I mean, that's, I think, you know, we have to look at baby steps. I mean, that's
Yep.
an accomplishment. The little things like that are definitely accomplishments. So I think, you know, we did a good job on it. We just got to fine tune it.
Okay, so do we want to move on to the next project we had down in the program plan?
Okay. The email campaign.
We've already done this too. That's great.
Yep. And Mara has taken it over. I think it's going well. We're getting more submissions and people are sending us stuff. They're sending us stuff preemptively now. So that's kind of where we wanted to get to. So we weren't constantly reaching out and saying, hey, what's going on every month?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's great. So we probably need to look at replacing that as well.
Social media presence.
Yeah, we have not done anything on this.
Besides passport and like 4th of July, not really, no.
Quick,
Yeah.
quick question. So, some people came out to do some, photography of the city. I think it was through the city or through the county?
Clackamas County.
Oh, Clackamas County. Do we know anything about that when that's being rolled out or how that's being rolled out? Do you know anything about?
I've heard
Oh.
nothing about that.
I probably have an email with some contact information in my email that I can get in touch with them, but they came out and they did, they took pictures of almost every business that was willing to participate in town. Like they spent like an hour or so in our shop. So, and they were going around and trying to take pictures. So if we can get a hold of some of those pictures, that would be a really easy way to post those online.
Yeah.
I was supposed to help with the social media situation. However, when Matt was here, the conversation that we had was that I could not create an account through the city. The city had to do it itself. And like, I was going to have to like send things to you guys to post.
Yeah, and that's still the rule. So the Arts Commission does this, they send it to me and they'll send me 2 or 3 things a week to schedule out throughout the week. And it's, you know, usually they'll send me like a couple sentences of text and a picture or a link to share to an event. And so that's kind of what we're looking for.
Matt had suggested that we get on TikTok.
Yeah, I
And
did. I started TikTok when we started the passport. Not that I
Yeah.
haven't time to manage it anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, so I can't do TikTok by like sending it to people and having them upload it because it just
Yeah.
won't work.
I know.
So I don't know that that's really even a possibility if it's not something that like I can be logged into, which I understand. I mean, I get it's through the city. I get it.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I can move forward with TikTok or making the reels and stuff like that if I don't have access to post it.
So you can do it in TikTok and save it as a draft,
Sure.
and then staff can review it. You know, it's not that I don't trust that you will be responsible about it. It's just a citywide policy.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm just trying to say is like, without it being something that I can do quickly, I
Mhm.
don't know that I have the time and availability to do that portion of it. I'm
Okay.
happy to figure out a way to send pictures or whatever, just for like Facebook posts. I just don't think I can
Yeah.
take on TikTok stuff, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, that's fine. I mean, if you want to say, you guys want to put it in your project plan that instead of social media, you want to tackle one social media like Facebook
Sure.
or Instagram instead of trying to do all of them, then that's totally a lot more doable.
Okay, great. I don't think that would be a bad idea then. We could
Okay.
transition to that.
Well, and usually you can post on both Facebook and Instagram at the
Sure.
same time. So
Yeah.
we did that for like the winners for the passport
Mhm.
project. And then, save the date for Uncorked and Harvest, those kinds of things.
Got it. Okay. And is that, we only had 3 projects, is that right?
For the 4th project is events under promotions.
Okay. And we're in the process of those at the moment, so
Mhm.
it looks like we just need to go back through and plan out some new goals and then update what our promotion situation will look like for next year.
I would love it. I'm sure Mara would love it. Instead, if you're willing to help take on the social media, just what this needs here is guidelines for post content, the protocol for communicating and deadlines, that kind of thing is something that I think could be done by like a subcommittee, or maybe just you, Taylor, if you want to write down those kind of things, so that way we have those kind of guidelines in place.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having like a subcommittee or, I mean, I guess you're just essentially wanting me to say how many times we're posting per week and such.
Yeah, make up it, not necessarily a calendar, but like, here's our best practices. We want to post, twice a week. We want to post, 5 days before every event, or when we send out the e-newsletter, we're going to post at the same time, something so that it sets up guidelines that you guys can help follow, and that we can get other people to follow within those guidelines.
Okay, I can bring that to the next meeting.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, so does
Okay.
that wrap up this portion?
That wraps up the step 1 under project 3, social media.
Okay,
So the second portion is the actual tracking and evaluating. So get to that after we have set up the guidelines.
okay, that works.
Great. And then we're on events. And Connie has filled in all of this stuff about how long it's going to take to complete and who's doing the work. And it's all Connie for the 4th of July. So I don't know if you want to just skip ahead, or if Connie wants to talk about the 4th of July now.
I can. I don't have the deer in the headlight look yet, but it's getting close. The weather, I think, is going to be okay, which is the only thing I can't control. I do have a good amount of volunteers signed up to help with stuff. I still have a couple needs, but I think I might be able to pull those together. Yeah, the applications are coming in. Just here we go.
Okay.
Is there more applicants? I mean, do you mean applicants participating in the parade?
Right,
Did we have more than usual? Lower than
Not
usual?
more than usual. The worst thing is that the parade's on Monday. City Hall is closed on Friday. So getting the applications to me, we have a cutoff date of July 3rd. People can put them in the water bill drop box. But also, if they wait till the 4th, it's $5 more for the entry fee. I like it better if we can take them right up until the 3rd, but that's the way it is. But I think we're going to have more this year than last year, because the weather's going to be good. People are getting back into the groove of the parade. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay.
They're
Great.
doing candy?
No.
Are they passing no candy? They're not
You
passing
cannot
candy?
throw candy. You can walk alongside
Side
and
and
toss
pass
it
candy.
out.
Last year they were.
We don't have any way of
pegging
enforcing
people
that,
with it.
but we just,
Yeah.
it's not so much the regular vehicles, it's the big rigs. When they start tossing out candy, they can't see the kids
Mhm.
coming in.
Yeah.
But we ask people to just go alongside.
Toss it in.
Okay, and then we're in the process for this one also.
We actually I actually had a phone call from somebody who wants to be a vendor at Uncorked. I forget her name. She said she'd been there before. I'm working with Rob on getting a couple of bands. Mara's got the stage application filled out. It just seems like all of a sudden it's gonna be here,
Mhm.
July, August, September.
Yeah, and I've received 3 vendor applications for, that includes Harvest Festival as well, but couple of them, I think, paid their fees, so you're just moving forward with that. And then I've called several folks or several different businesses for sponsorship, but if anybody here or in the DEC have ideas for that, that would be really helpful.
Are we looking for more vendors or we're
Oh.
looking forward to advertise? So there's this, I think it's Facebook and Instagram. It's called Pipeline PDX. So I believe you can go in there and it doesn't cost, but you can go in there and you can host an event.
Mm.
And I've seen, it's something that I used to use a lot when I had my shop in Portland, but you could, people from all over the surrounding area would post, people needing vendors or an event that's going on. But I think that's a really good resource for, to bring people in. But it's been a little while since I've used it, but it's definitely something well worth it to check out.
Pipeline PDX.
Yeah, Pipeline PDX. I believe so.
Do you think you could do that, Julie? Could you post the information? Because it's all on our website.
Yes, I will do my best. I'm always a little challenged on it, but
Okay,
yes.
great.
But yes, in terms of vendors needing them, that I would say
Okay.
yes, there aren't any alcohol vendors yet. Like
Okay,
we-
so are we looking at like artisan food, just anything, everything?
Really, yeah,
within?
really,
Okay.
all of it. Yeah,
Okay.
the crafts, the food, and then for Uncorked, the
Yeah,
drinks.
the
so.
one lady who called me was a wine vendor.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you guys be interested in like a coffee shop? Like a country coffee hitched up? They have like a mobile coffee cart. They do beer, wine,
Oh, really?
coffee.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would
Yeah, I know.
something like that? Okay.
Yeah.
And they just pay to be a part of it?
Yeah, we have a whole, agreement and all those things
Yeah.
with all the information in it we can give to them.
Okay.
So,
I'll reach out and ask about that.
thank you.
Great.
So if they're serving alcohol,
Yes.
we're not charging
Oh, yes, sorry.
the vendors. But they are required to give out free samples in exchange for tokens. So just as long as people provide a token, they need to give out a sample.
Okay, I
But we're
will pass.
Not
along that
charging for the
information.
space.
Okay.
Okay, so sponsors, OLCC insurance, Mara's working on that. We did inventory for wine glasses.
Can I back up just for a minute, Elena?
Yes. Yes.
The sponsors for the 4th of July parade, are we getting their identification out there pretty good so people know that we have sponsors?
It's on our website and I just put it on, well, it's scheduled to post on Saturday on our Facebook.
Good, thank you.
Yep, and they were on the flyers that you posted around
Oh,
town.
that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't have them on the application and I should have.
Yep.
I apologize for that.
Nope, neither one of them paid enough money to be included on the application.
Okay. I like your train of thought.
Okay. And then Mara and I were gonna sit down probably next week and kind of write out the timelines for the other marketing pieces. So we did already put out the save the date. We already did a press release to the paper. So that's out there. But, you know, the other things, the call for vendors, the call for, you know, to let people know what kind of events are happening. There's all the little bits and pieces that go together for that. We'll be working on the marketing.
If
plan.
I'm available, can I join you guys on that?
Yeah,
We
definitely.
can do that with the event planning committee, right? That's something we can do then.
Yeah, I think the event planning committee, we're planning on meeting Thursday.
That's right, the
Yeah.
14th?
Mhm.
No.
Yes, the 14th.
So yeah, we would definitely want, if you know any people who have wineries or breweries or, you know, cideries, I don't know, is that the term for it?
Well, Elena, the one lady who was at our first meeting who indicated she had contacts. Do you
Yes.
remember?
I
Yeah.
reached out and haven't heard back.
Okay.
Eliza,
Yeah, I'll-
Okay.
yeah.
Is our brewery that is in town participating?
They said that they would brew a beer for that event. They would call it the
Okay.
Uncorked or whatever.
Okay,
Yes, they
Cool.
said they would brew up a special batch.
I
Beautiful.
don't think she's gonna be in the section though. I don't think they're planning on having a separate.
Is the cider, there's a place that sells cider up
Stone
the,
Stone
Circle
Circle.
cider.
Circle cider.
are they participating in it?
Well, I mean, they have in the past, and didn't
Okay.
they just buy the Viewpoint?
No,
We-
that's Bench Shovel,
Oh, bench shovel.
but they
Okay.
might be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty involved with the community, so.
Yeah.
Hit them up, because as Mara said, we have no alcohol vendors yet.
Okay.
Well, Clackamas River Growlers did it last time too. So
Mhm.
I'm sure they wanna, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but you know, they've been very community oriented, so. Reach out to them.
Volunteers and businesses. When we did the application to the city, that required talking to the businesses that will be impacted by the street closure, and Connie and I handled that. And then volunteers. I mean, I feel like we're constantly asking for volunteers.
We are. That's the way
So,
it is. I mean,
It is, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
but I might have some lists from previous years. What did you find out about the alcohol monitors?
So
For
I,
the Kim Ward and
Yeah.
Lisa.
I only spoke directly and actually only really heard from Kim.
Okay.
And so she said she would check and see if she's still certified, if
Okay.
that's the term. If not, she said she could easily recertify.
Okay.
But I haven't received like a confirmation
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna zip through this because this is Harvest Festival and this is exact same steps as Uncorked.
Yeah.
So that was the end of promotions. That now we're into the economic vitality. And I will say this is, we really haven't done anything on this. This is our market plan that we were talking about. So here's the survey, the market analysis, and then down here is more of the larger data that has to do with this one here. Sorry, down here is the larger data. So the NAICS and the, what's that, districts or whatever it's called. There's a few different places where you can buy market information based on zip code.
Oh, yeah.
So we had got a bid to do this from the Southern Oregon University and
That's right.
decided it was too much. And I said, based on our meaning me, staff level, that this would not happen until after Uncorked Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the only thing that we had on the economic vitality. That was the only goal. Then we have the design committee. We did apply for the grant. We did not get the grant. Sorry, Hannah.
It's okay. We tried.
We tried our hardest.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Yes. We can
Do we
apply
know
next
why?
year. Yeah, we do know why. Hannah, do you want to answer?
Sure. In brief, I think we are just changing the building too much.
Oh,
And we're wanting to add a second story to put some apartments up there.
okay.
And so we weren't keeping it historical enough.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah, they were concerned about some of the design features fulfilling the historic preservation requirements, so.
Okay.
But we can reach out to other buildings and apply next year. If we want, because
Yeah.
it comes around every year.
Yep.
So if you want to keep this on, we can keep it on. And when the next round comes up, we can apply again.
I think we should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Then here we are, policy recommendations to council. You have sent a couple of pretty major things to council, and they're both pursuing them. One is the vacant building code, where you ask them to add a fee to that. And the council listened to your recommendation. They discussed it and they want to do something a little more broad, something more impactful than the $100 a year fee.
Okay.
So they're actually, they talked to the city's lawyer and they're doing some research on what other cities are doing to kind of prompt the building owners of those vacant buildings to do something with their space.
Okay, good.
So it's moving forward, but that kind of thing, you have a lot of legalities along with it and changing the code, and none of that goes quickly. And then the other policy recommendation that you sent to council was related to the food carts and the minimum maintenance requirements. And they were, so where that's going is, I talked to Taylor about it. We looked at it and there's no problem with what you're recommending, but the way it sits in our code right now, it sits in the development code, and the development code has to go to DLCD, and then it has to go through planning commission hearings, and then it has to go through city council hearings. And so it takes up to 4 months to change anything in the development code. And so Taylor's recommendation was to see if we could take food carts out of the development code to make it easier to change. So that's a future a future conversation with council and the planning commission too.
Okay.
So they're both moving forward. It's just the wheels of government don't move quickly.
Yeah.
I think that you could probably remove this unless you had other policy recommendations you wanted to consider next year.
I think that they kind of just come up.
Okay.
With each new situation. So I don't know that it necessarily needs to be on the plan, but
Mhm.
still have it as an option to recommend things to them.
Okay. Yeah, this process could be repeated for any number of design related issues affecting downtown, it says.
Okay.
Okay. And then here we have the last section of the plan, which is the Outreach Organization Committee, which really just has targeted diplomacy with partner agencies. And I haven't had, we haven't done this at all, really. We've had some conversations with the Chamber of Commerce and talked about stuff, but not anything, any specific meetings like you had talked about here.
So then we probably need to leave that and actually start working on it.
Yeah, if you want to leave it on here, or is this something that you want to do as a meeting? Do you want to evaluate how this could happen? Because there's a lot of different ways this could happen.
I think that would probably be a good idea.
Yes.
Do you want that for the next agenda or
I'd love to do that when we have
more?
more
That's right.
people here. It's
Mhm.
very quiet today.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So what I hear is you want to add this to another agenda to talk about how you could accomplish this in a way that isn't necessarily a meeting, but you still want to keep the goal of diplomacy with partner agencies.
Yes,
Great.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then we have e-newsletter directed at stakeholders versus the one that we're sending out regularly with events and such. So we haven't started an e-newsletter for stakeholders, but I do send out regular, semi-regular emails to the local businesses. Like you probably received a couple in the past couple months about grants.
Yep. Good.
So I don't know if you want to be a little more purposeful with that. That's something you guys could consider.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be nice to discuss this as well of, I guess, ways that we can make this more purposeful,
Mhm.
something that is making more of an impact. I think that would be a good thing to maybe tack on at that agenda where people are here so we can all discuss it.
Okay, sounds good. That's the end of the project plan.
Okay.
So you guys have accomplished, or we've accomplished quite a bit already. Checked off a bunch of boxes.
Woohoo.
Awesome. Okay, so are we putting on the next agenda for next month to update the goals? Or are we gonna do all of this in one meeting where everyone actually shows up?
That's a good question. I mean, that's really up to you. I think it makes sense to, you mentioned some of the goals to replace them because they've been completed.
Yeah.
So definitely probably want to make that an agenda item. Little tricky because the agenda is made before the meeting and sometimes we don't know, right, how many
Sure.
commissioners are going to show up. So do we want to just have it on the agenda? And if you all decide to postpone because there aren't enough people, do we want to do it that way? But at least it's on there.
Yeah, let's just do that. And we'll figure out if people are gonna show or not.
I'm gonna recommend that you do it in portions, because I'm sure you remember it was a very long process when you guys created this project plan.
Sure.
So I might just take like just the promotions or just the community portion and do one portion at a meeting rather than trying to sit down and do it all.
So do you want to just break up each section over the next 4 meetings? Does that work?
Sure, just go in order from what it is now, like promotions and then.
Yeah.
I would go backwards. I would start with the portions that we haven't completed,
Okay,
like the outreach, and start with that. And then work towards the ones that we have already completed, like the promotions. We've already done the passport and the newsletter. So those are already checked off. if that
Okay.
sounds good to you guys.
Mhm.
Works for me.
Okay.
Okay, so the event planning updates, we pretty much already went through that, right? Passport, and then you went through the promotion stuff. Do you have any other promotions update, Connie?
Don't think so.
Okay,
No.
okay, so moving on to the promotions directory.
Yeah, I was hoping Bennett would be here because this was her suggestion. So I don't know if you want to put it on a further agenda so that Bennett can talk a bit more about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so that'd probably be best.
Yeah, we postponed it last month too, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then Art Back and DIC event.
What's that?
Yeah, so I have some information on this. But it was brought to my attention that we might want to do more with the Latinx community, and Elena knew about this event coming up, so I thought I would talk with Artback and see what this was about. And I don't know, perhaps there is some way that we can support. I mean, it's July 31st from noon to 5 in the evening. But essentially it's going to be, well, I know the DEIC is going to be supporting with like the coloring pages for kids. But yeah, just really supporting the local Latinx community and their history. Some folks, their families may have actually been living here for a while. And so just really celebrating their stories and the culture, and the mural that they're creating is really inspired by that. They interviewing folks and just incorporating that. There will be music as well, mariachi band there, and really Artback are the ones who just really coordinated and
Where?
did this whole event.
It's
Oh,
that mural going up on Dollar General.
it is that one
Right.
that you were talking about earlier.
So,
So in that,
I don't know if that's because Artback gave you all envelopes. Is that an invitation to that event?
Right. Right.
it was an invitation for that event, Connie, or, well, Taylor, I think you just
describe
opened that
the,
up. Is that an invitation to an event?
Does it have the location? I don't remember seeing the location.
It's okay, sorry to put you on the spot.
So tired. No, this is, yes.
Okay.
So community celebration downtown on Sunday, July 31st. Doesn't really say where. It's just asking for donations.
Oh.
And just says that it will be painted on the north wall of the Dollar General in downtown Estacada, July 24th through the 31st. So it sounds like once they finish up, they're celebrating it.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a celebration that's gonna be known, or, because I haven't heard anything about it, is it gonna be in a newsletter or anything?
So really, because the Artback, they've been leading this, so whatever, I guess, promotion that they've been doing is how the word's been getting out.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll get the information from them to include in one of our downtown event newsletters, the downtown happening newsletter. But I think this is a lot of, if you want to get involved with other community groups, here's an opportunity. It's happening downtown.
That's exciting. We've been wanting to get them involved for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. Hopefully we can get some more information on that and hopefully out to the public too, so that everybody can come down. Next thing on our agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody waiting? Okay, so we got no one here, no one online. How about commissioner comments? I got nothing.
Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
Come to the parade. It's gonna
yeah.
be fabulous.
Yes.
Hey, I have a
Connie?
question for
Yeah.
Connie. Is there gonna be an email going out about volunteers, or, because I know me and my husband signed up.
I know. Didn't I send you a message? Did I respond to you?
I don't think so. I can double check, but
Okay.
I was just wondering if there was gonna be a confirm or, you know.
Yeah, I'll send you a message, Hannah. Really,
Okay.
your guys is pretty easy. Just, I'll get you some garbage bags and
Got it.
it's really exciting. I've got a mother and her 24-year-old son. They're gonna help us with picking up all the cones and traffic stuff afterwards, which has always been just Mike and I. It's pretty labor intensive. So to have a young 24-year-old guy and his mom who says she's very active is fun.
Perfect.
Gonna be nice.
Awesome.
Do
I
you
still
still
need a
need,
pooper scooper.
do you still need judges?
I need for equestrian, but I think I can talk somebody that's gonna be there into doing that. But,
Okay.
yeah. If you're in the area, you want to judge.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, then that ends our meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Gotta
you.
whack it.
Oh, it's done.
There you go.
Mm.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good
Have a
night.
Long weekend.
Good night.
I thought you today's Friday too.
I know.
It's not, it messes me up.